Welcome back, fellow animators. In this lesson, you'll learn how to make your character run on sixes. That is 6 frames per step, which equals 4 steps per second. And yes, this is one of the most common tempos when doing run cycles. First thing we'll do is to set out some markers, and here it's very important that you place them at the exact same time as I do. Now, before we start animating, let me just share my arm and leg limb settings in case you want to match your limbs to mine. So, here's my arm settings. And here's my leg settings. Alright, let's get back to business. Select the waist layer. Snap a Y position frame at the first down mark and push it down just a little bit like so. Then go to the first up mark and push the layer upwards like this. Copy-paste the first frame to here, duplicate them all like this, drag them all to here and duplicate them once more. Easy is the frames, and boom. Spoiler alert, we won't offset these waist layer frames, but it's always a good idea to put out some extra frames so you at least have that option. Now, to make the run cycle more dynamic, we are gonna push the upper body forward via the X position in the waist layer. Let's also rotate the body a bit forward like this and counter-rotate the head like so. Done. Let's start off by selecting the right shoe and snapping some position and rotation frames at the first down mark. Now, go to the first up mark and make the shoe kick a bit backwards like this. Rotate it to around here. Adjust it a bit. Then go to the second down mark and push the shoe slightly to the right. Rotate it to around here. Push it a bit more until the right knee is in front of the left leg. Go to the second up mark and drag the shoe to around here and rotate it up like so. Let's move it a bit more to the right. Done. Now, go to the down loop and copy-paste the frames from the beginning to here. Easy is all the frames. Then, set the indicator in the middle, open up the graph editor, and convert these middle frames to outer Beziers. Why? Well, we don't want them to ease neither in or out. Now, start adjusting the graphs in the following way. Alright, time to see what we got. Okay, now that we have put down the main positions for our step, it's time to fine-tune it. So, go to 1 second and 1 frame and place the shoe in the back with the toes touching the shadow like so. Then go to 1 second and 10 frames and move the shoe to around here. Last but not least, go to 1 second and 11 frames and place the shoe around here. Time for some more fine-tuning, so let's hit that speed mode. The knee is a bit too high here in the middle, so let's push down all these frames here a bit. Same goes for these frames. Let's also push the shoe a bit backwards here at 1 second and 2 frames, so the motion path itself becomes a bit more curved in the back. Perfect. Let's fine-tune some more. By the way, make sure the upper leg is angled slightly downwards around the middle of the step. Awesome. Alright, let's make the other leg move, so copy all the frames. Then go to the left shoe and paste them back in. Now, set the indicator in the middle and offset all the frames half a loop to the left. Then, paste the frames in once more, select them all, and push the shoe a couple of steps to the right so it aligns with the perspective of the character. Boom! Now we just need to fine-tune everything including the waist layer before jumping over to the arms. Done. Set the indicator at the first up mark. Snap a rotation frame on position right arm. Rotate it to around -60 degrees. Then go to the second up mark and set the rotation to around 50 degrees. Make it loop by copy-pasting the first rotation frame to 1 second and 15 frames and the second frame to 0 seconds and 21 frames. Make them easy ease. Adjust the graphs like this and done. Let's now make the arm bend a bit, so select the right hand layer and snap some position and rotation frames at the first down mark. Then go to the first up mark and push the hand up towards the head like so. Rotate it a bit and continue adjusting it until it looks something like this. Now go to the second up mark and adjust the hand until the arm looks something like this. Copy-paste the first frames to the end, make them easy ease, and boom. Let's just fine-tune it. Now, to make the other arm move, simply duplicate the frames from the right arm to the corresponding layers on the left. Then, offset them half a loop to the left. Copy-paste all the frames like so, and these 3 frames like this. Let's move the left fist on top of the left arm limb layer so it aligns better with the perspective of the character. Alright, let's tighten up the placement of both hands. Now, to add a bit more realism to the arms, we are gonna animate the position back and forth as the arms are swinging. So, select both position arm layers, snap some position frames at the first up mark, push the right arm to the right and the left arm to the left. Then set the indicator at the second up mark and push the arm layers in the opposite way. Copy the first frames to 1 second and 15 frames. And the second frames to 0 seconds and 21 frames. Make them easy ease and voila! Now, we just need to fine-tune everything once more before moving on to the final part of this lesson. Done. First, we need to animate the rotation of the body. So, set the rotation frames to 22 degrees on all down markers and 18 degrees on all up markers. Make sure you have enough frames on both sides of that preview window for offsetting purposes. Make them easy ease. Repeat the exact same steps for the head, however, make it minus 10 degrees on all down markers and minus 25 degrees on all up markers. Done. Now, this obviously doesn't look quite right, and that's because the movement is still too mechanic. So, how do we fix this? Easy. The answer is, as always, offsets. So, offset the head frames 1 step to the right and the body frames 1 step to the left. Boom. Let's rotate all the head frames up a bit. So select all the frames, make sure the indicator is on top of a pre-existing frame and rotate them up a bit via the value slider like so. Perfect. Let's also readjust all the rotation frames here to minus 13 degrees.
Bonus tip, something extra, something special. I do so much for you guys.
Here's an easy way to animate that shadow. First, snap a path frame at the first down mark, then go to the first up mark and shorten it from both ends like so. Copy-paste the first frame to here, then copy-paste all 3 frames like so. Now, make them easy ease and boom. Now we just need to readjust and recenter the path on some of the frames before the shadow is done. Let's now go back and improve the placements of the shoes. Alright, I'm now happy with how the right leg looks. So, as always, make sure the left leg behaves in the exact same way by duplicating the frames from the right to the left, pushing them forward a bit, and offsetting them half a loop to the left. Voila!